video, and in this video, I'm gonna be telling you about a secret underwater map that you should never play in Among Us. So, I've seen before. I didn't feel safe being when I entered the boiler room. I didn't see anything. The ground then began to shake, and a wave of water appeared, and I saw aquatic from any crewmates. Since I haven't had the best of luck, the lights turned off, and I could hear the sounds of running water, which I have heard before. A wave of water appeared on my screen, which covered most of my feet. An aquatic appeared, and the water began to rise, to the point where I could no longer see. I did notice him at first, but I didn't really pay much attention, which appears to be the sky, and his name was Crewmate of Death. I was pretty surprised at first was when he changed his name to Azrael. The chat killed Michu. The voting session, Michu was no longer there. I opened up the chat, and Azrael said kill BTS. I checked the voting session, and BTS was gone. Huster, the rainbow crewmate of Among Us. I was in the middle of playing a few matches of Scald, and that is how I managed to stumble upon Huster. And as you can see on the screen next to me, and you can see the rainbow color. At first I thought it might have been a glitch instead of the dropship, but I was wrong. He actually had the ability to change color. Killer, who then decided to bring some backup, which were Unknown, Patient Zero, and MC. He also brought an old friend that you may know. And when I entered, I saw Killer. What is he doing in my game? I then looked at the top left corner, said that I was in Mira HQ, even though I wanted to play the airship map. Maybe this is a visual glitch. And as I was glitching, Unknown appeared. It has been a while since I last saw him. Did Killer just summon him? Unknown then vanished, and the lag went away. So I left the launch pad and I went over to the cafe. I clicked the button in my game lobby, and when I joined, I saw Killer once again. And in the smoke, I saw Patient Zero for just a second. I couldn't believe what I was witnessing, so I left over to camera. Didn't see Killer anywhere. So maybe restarting my computer fixed everything. As I was walking around waiting for more players to join, Killer appeared. How did he end up finding me? I walked inside, I saw Killer's body in the corner of the room. I tried to report the body, but it wasn't letting me. And then the imposter walked in behind me and took me out, and I could see Killer's ghost. We were both dead in the same location. This all didn't make any sense. Medbay, and Killer was still standing in the same corner. So I got close to him, and that is when MC appeared on my screen where he was gone. So I went outside and I saw his body, so I reported it. My game then began to glitch, and my whole game crashed. Looks like today wasn't the day to play Among Us. When I got to the kitchen, Killer, Unknown, Patient Zero, and MC appeared on my screen. How did they get into my match of free play? I didn't know what they were about to do to me, so I instantly left. I decided to create my own lobby. I want to have a one-on-one conversation with Killer. And then I saw 4 of them standing in the corner. I didn't know what to do, especially with all 4 of them there. But then I saw someone behind me. It was Siro. If you would like to know what happened next, let's see if we can get this video to 30,000 later. So I don't think he would just hand it to the crewmates. Something must have happened. The soldier was using his laser against the imposters. But then I saw an explosion, which caused a few imposters to be launched. And that explosion also damaged part of the base. Who could have caused this? And that is when I entered the launch pad, and I saw a massive creature. Is this Mility? This must be Xander's friend. His body seemed to be melted. He was literally a tank. He had weapons sticking from all over his body, and he was fighting off the imposters. This is incredible. I've never seen a crewmate with this size. The imposters were always bigger than us. It looks like we now have the firepower to fight back. I could also see the ships that the imposters used to land on the base. But why did Xander take me here to witness this battle? This can't be the only reason. I left reactor and I walked inside a laboratory, and inside I saw a bunch of mini versions of Mility. These must be his minions. Mility's minions seemed to be arresting the imposter. It was 3 against 1, so I walked inside the office area, and one of the crewmates seemed to be staring into the greenhouse. What is going on in there? I could hear the battle, but I wanted to check these two locations, which were the office and admin. Inside of the admin, the imposters seem to be coming up with a plan. What is going on? It was now time for me to enter the greenhouse, and when I walked in, I could see 4 imposters, and I could also see some chains, and all I could see was ships all around me. Mility is being attacked by the imposters. There was gunfire all around me. I didn't know what to do. I then saw Xander getting on one of the ships, and he blasted off into the distance. Why is he leaving? But then I saw Dark and Ian appear, and they both used their powers on Mility, which caused the entire place to explode, and Mility was nowhere to be seen. This player sent a message in the chat. The player's name was Xander, and he sent a very creepy message. The message read, "I can't believe they are gone. I was debating whether I wanted to stay on the lot. I need to find my way back." What is this player talking about? I wonder what happened to him. Xander sent another message and he said, "They just came and destroyed our home. Every time I close my eyes, I can see the green eyes of the creature." Xander was now really concerning me because I have never encountered this player before. As I was trying to think what Xander was talking about, he sent another message, and the message read, "I saw the creature destroy everything with its tentacles. Then everyone was dead." I couldn't tell if Xander was pulling a prank on us. He just seemed like a casual player. I tried my best to the shower room and I picked up all the towels. But then I began to hear this strange portal noise, and I have heard it before. The noise stopped, so I entered the records room to sort the files. The noise must have been coming from the main hall. I looked around for a bit, but I didn't see anything. So I entered electrical, and I went over to the kitchen to clean the trash. I heard the portal noise again, and this time I was a lot more concerned. So I made my way over to the gap room and meeting room to hopefully find an answer on what could be causing this. That is until I entered the engine room, and I could hear the portal noise even louder. Room found in the center, and inside I found Xander. He was just standing there looking at the corner. Is Xander upset? I didn't really know what to do, whether to comfort him or call a meeting, just to ask him what was wrong. A portal then appeared and sucked in Xander, and he was gone. I left the room and I looked around the main hall, but Xander was nowhere to be found. So I returned back to the room, and I stood in the corner that Xander was standing. A flashlight then appeared on my screen, and then a portal appeared, and my player was sucked in. I then appeared in a location that I wasn't necessarily sure of, and I saw a crewmate on top of the table, and he wasn't moving. Is that Xander? What happened to him? It also made a large hole on the floor, and to my left I could see a massive eye. It was the green eyes that Xander was talking about. Is this the creature that Xander was warning us about? I left the area carefully and I made my way towards the left side of the map. I then walked inside medbay, and I could see 4 mini ships, and there was also 4 aliens. The map of Skeld was being invaded, and the aliens used the map of Skeld as a base. Now I know why Xander was talking about his home being taken, and him not being able to do anything. There was also a symbol on the floor, which must be the galaxy that the aliens came from, and I have never seen it before. It was covered in this green substance. It was really gross. But then I saw a creature inside of this large sphere. He had tentacles coming out of his body, and he was growing in size. The aliens are using the map of Skeld to grow their army. The imposters are considered eggs, and these eggs I'm assuming are the ones that helped create the imposters. And the reactor room was being used as a chamber to store the eggs. Right next door inside of the security room there is a purple imposter, and this imposter had a tentacle coming out of its mouth, which I found really disturbing. The screen of the cameras was also broken, which I'm assuming was caused by the imposter that was in the room. I wanted to see if the cameras were working, which they were, but they were covered in this green substance. I need to leave this area. I entered lower engine and I saw another creature that was being created, very similar to the one that I saw in upper engine, so I'm not gonna pay much attention. And inside I found a water tank. In the water tank there was a large octopus. I didn't even know that there was an octopus imposter. I left electrical and I entered storage, and that is when I discovered something so horrifying. Inside I found one of the largest eggs I have ever seen, and it was about to crack. I don't even want to know the imposter that is about to be met. 3 radiation containers. Are these containers being used to make the imposters even more powerful? And I entered admin, and I could see 3 little imposters. They remind me a lot about Gengar. And that is when I noticed a galaxy on top of the admin table. And I saw this earlier. It seems like the imposters are keeping in touch with whatever can be found on that galaxy. I left the stations, and inside I can find 4 imposters that just hatched. I felt very unsafe in this room, so I left. I then entered Shields, and I found and inside there was an imposter that looked a lot like a brain. I wonder why the imposters are wanting to grow their arm. And inside I found another tentacle from the creature that I saw earlier. I didn't know he was that large. I left navigation and I was now in O2, and I could see several more creatures. I didn't want to mess with them, so I left. I stumbled upon an alien. Yeah, I'm gonna move to the side. I ran towards the cafeteria, and the entire map began to shake, and I completely passed out. What happened? I then woke up and I was inside of the dropship, and that is when I saw the large creature, and he was just staring at me. What does he want from me? He already took out Xander. The creature then shot 2 lasers from both of his eyes, and when I thought I was about to die, a mysterious figure appeared on my screen and deflected the laser. The laser hit the corner of the dropship, and it caused the place to explode. If you would like. So it was a regular day and I was playing Among Us. I joined a public lobby and there was a girl who had the same color as me. I have encountered this glitch several times, but this player encounter was very different. Little did I know that this would be one of the strangest games that I've ever played. The game started and I saw the girl. Her name was Caitlin. I found it really cool how we both had the same color, so I wanted to make sure that she was safe, and I followed her around the map. When me and Caitlin were in reactor and security, she was just standing there and moving really strange. Why wasn't she doing her task? She randomly made a run for the button, and I chased her down because I thought she saw something. Caitlin called a meeting. Let's see what she has to say. The rest of the crewmates were freaking out in the chat, and I was really concerned. Caitlin wasn't saying anything, so everybody was skipping, and she randomly said my color. Why was she blaming me as an imposter if I didn't even do anything? I was defending myself in the chat and I said, it is not me. I am following you because you have the same color as me. I have tasks if you want to see. Caitlin ended up voting for me regardless. This is gonna be a very long game. Luckily, nobody was ejected. When we all spawned in, I saw Caitlin once again right next to me, so I wanted to follow her to prove my innocence. Caitlin ended up taking me to the same location that we were last time. And when I was standing right next to her, I started to hear a laugh. It sounded like a girl laughing. The laugh stopped and Caitlin took me to lower engine. When we were in engine, I couldn't tell if she was faking her task, but I could hear that strange laugh once again. Is she making that laugh? But that's impossible. Voice chat doesn't exist in Among Us. When we were in upper engine, she was trying to bait me to leave, but at this point, I was so far into the game that the best thing that I could do was follow her to prove that I was innocent. She then made her way over to cafeteria, and she was about to call the button. She was unable to call the button because I'm assuming she ran out of meetings. But that's so strange, I haven't even done anything to her. When I was in the cafeteria with Caitlin, we were chasing each other down and I could hear a strange laugh in the background. But this time the laugh was coming from all directions. Is Caitlin the one doing this laugh? Sire's body was then reported. I went to the chat as quickly as possible and I made sure to clear Caitlin. Green was then blaming Purple as the imposter. And I asked the question, who are we voting for? And Caitlin was saying that it was me, when I was with her the entire time. Why does she keep voting for me? I let her know in the chat that I was with her, and that there's only one imposter in the game, and that there was no way that I killed across the map. Caitlin ended up voting for me, but luckily I wasn't ejected. When we all spawned in, I got tired of Caitlin. All she was gonna do was blame me, so I went to go do my task. But as I was doing my task, I could hear the strange laugh in the background, but I couldn't tell where the noise was coming from. When I went to the cafeteria, I went to the left side of the map and I bumped into Caitlin. And I stayed near her to keep an eye on her. She was in weapons, so I went around the map to see if she was still there. As I was walking around, I heard a loud scream. And when I entered the cafeteria went dark. But then I remembered that weapons was the last time that I saw Caitlyn. So I walked into weapons and I saw her dead body. And I saw her killer as well. I reported the body instantly and I let everyone know that it was Black. And Black told everyone that it was Green. So who was the imposter? Everyone was blaming each other in the chat, but Black said that Green killed and vented. But then I remember last time Black voted for me, when Caitlyn was blaming me. But he kept spamming Green, so I went with his word. Thankfully, Black was correct, and we voted out Caitlyn's killer. The game finished and I wanted to start up the next game, but my game shut off. I couldn't even say goodbye to someone I considered a friend. I opened up my game and I entered a match of Scaled, and when I spawned in, the lights were off. I could hear a cry in the background, so I started to look around the cafeteria and started off on the map of Scaled. I joined a random lobby and I saw this player that I've been hearing about recently. I stayed in the game because I was really curious. I spawned in as a crewmate, and when I spawned in, I went over to electrical to do my task. I wanted to make sure that I was actually useful. Let's hope we can win this game. I then walked into cafeteria and I saw this mysterious player once again just standing there. I didn't really think much of it at first, so I went down into storage to do my wires. As I was about to do my wires, a meeting was called. I opened up the chat and I saw that player 119 left a message. He said, "Help me." He kept sending the same message. I ignored him because I was afraid